Happy New Year. This is our January 2023 shop update video from Schwartz Performance. Let's see what we got going on in the shop this year. This is that 1978 Mercedes 450 SLC street and track car, and today we were bleeding brakes and putting fluids in the car, getting closer and closer to completion. We've finished mini tubbing this 67 Camaro, and now we're going to be sorting out some wiring issues. The chassis is completed for this 66 Charger, so we'll be getting started fitting the chassis to this, mini tubbing it, and installing the Hellcat Red-Eye engine. This 66 Chevelle just came in for a full build, so we disassembled it, and it's going out for media blasting next. This Chevy II has had all the rust repairs done to it, our Schwartz G-Machine chassis installed along with a LS3 engine and a transmission. It's ready to ship back to the customer so he can finish his build. Work continues on this Mustang convertible project. This also has a Coyote engine and a Schwartz G-Machine chassis, of course. The custom chassis for this 64 Jaguar II is now completed. We've got our IRS in the back on this one, and we're about to install it in here for mock-up along with the LT1 500 horsepower engine. Work is continuing on this LT5 powered Chevy C10 pickup. This is the sidebar for a roll cage that we're putting in one of the Chevy II Novas we're building. Typically we will contour these so they are kind of parallel to the bucket seats that are mounted inside the car. So when you climb into the bucket seat, it's basically the same height as the roll bar. So the side bolster of the seat would be right in this area, and then the upright backrest of the seat will be back in this area. So this gives side impact protection, as well as stiffening up the whole body and chassis structure. So this is how we normally do it on a street / track car here at Schwartz Performance. This is the hood for the 66 Chevy II Nova. This one has a supercharged 1,000 horsepower LS engine in it. We're fabricating a cold air induction system to make this cowl induction hood functional. So this ductwork has been fabricated here, and then this panel is in the process of being fabricated to close that off. And there will be a rubber gasket on the chassis side of things, sealing the air intake to this hood, so all the air will be coming through the back of the cowl. Functional ram air for this supercharged 66 Nova. We finally did get the General Motors 1,000 horsepower 632 big block Chevy engine for this 68 Chevelle, and we'll be putting it in the car soon to do mock-up and try to figure out how to fit it under a hood. What we've got here is an updated version of our C1 Corvette chassis. Many years ago we had a C1 Corvette chassis, but we've since started with a clean sheet and redesigned it from scratch essentially, and it now has our independent rear suspension available as an option, as you see on this chassis, and this one has an LS3 engine that's been retrofitted to look more period correct. So it's got an intake manifold that is very similar to the old mechanical fuel injection Rochester intake. We've got our side mounted throttle body, in this case the LS3 drive-by-wire throttle body that came with the LS3 crate engine, and then we've got these retro looking thin valve covers. So the engine looks very period correct of the 50s, along with the 6-speed transmission, independent suspension, and it'll drive and ride like a modern sports car instead of an old solid axle Corvette. So really excited about this one. This particular one, as you can see, the engine block is red rather than orange. A normal Hellcat engine, the 707 horse version, is orange. This is the red-eye version, and the engine block is red. So this is the 800 horsepower version. That's the easy way to tell them apart. Our independent suspension that's been out for over a year now is becoming quite the popular option. As you can see, we've got a couple of them here slated to go into chassis coming up in production. This is that 69 Indy Pace Car Camaro that we saw a couple of months back, and we had to do a lot of fabrication underneath the car to fit our independent suspension. So this floor pan had to get raised up in this area here, and then we also had to slot the floor pan for frame rails to go through. So we're doing a finishing of this. Basically, we're going to bed line this. It's been epoxy primed now, and we're seam sealing it. This will get bed lined, and then we will put it back on the chassis, do the engine bay, and assemble it for final assembly. This is a Pontiac LeMans convertible. It's getting a Schwartz G-Machine chassis along with this LT1 engine and a T56 Magnum transmission. We got a little problem here with this clutch being too tall, so we need to convert it to a different clutch, and then everything will mate up perfectly. The rust repair on this Challenger body has pretty much been finished now. We've fabricated the inner fender panels, and we're going to be mocking up this Hellcat and T56 Magnum transmission in here pretty shortly. And then we'll move forward with the entire build of this car. We hope to be out and about at more events in 2023. We'll have a new ride for Clay to be driving, and then I will also be out in the Optima Ultimate Street Car Series. I've entered the Laguna Seca round, Daytona, and Road America. Not sure which car I'll be driving yet, but hope to see you out and about in 23 at autocross and track events throughout the season. This is all we have for this month. Be sure and stay tuned in for our February 2023 update, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.